I believe there's a website up for it already. Let's look. Oops, something went wrong. That's not a good sign. Let's try this again. There we go. Not a great opener. So, build.microsoft.com for anyone that's interested. This is one of Microsoft's big conferences every year. This one in particular tends to focus a little more on the developer side of the fence. Not shockingly, you will probably hear the words AI and Copilot about 80 billion times, give or take a little bit. Yeah, Microsoft is very much all in on AI related stuff. But yeah, we might dive in and do a little AI on this stream at some point. There's some cool stuff. I had an idea earlier today of something, probably not the best use of it, but it made me excited to want to try it. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Okay, one other thing I wanted to mention. So on the actual WPF repository. So for those people unaware, WPF is now open source, live on GitHub. You can go and see it. And for a long time, people have been asking the question: Is WPF dead? Is WPF dead? And I've hashed it multiple times. The short version, my answer is no. WPF is not dead. In order to kill it, Microsoft has to put out a framework good enough to actually end up replacing WPF, which I don't think they've done that. They've gotten close at times. 1 second here. They've gotten close a couple times in producing things. I think WinUI 3 has the best chance of being a replacement for WPF that I have seen, but I also don't think it is quite at parity yet. So we'll see where it goes. I think it has potential, but for now, I love my WPF. And it is very viable. And Microsoft, even the last release, WPF actually got a note in the big C#.NET release that comes out every November. We got a new dialogue. Huzzah. Right? But there is some life being breathed back in and some effort being put in. You'll note, oftentimes one of the reasons why the material design and XAML toolkit is so popular is because the default WPF theme, I don't know if it's gotten significant work since like Windows 7. Maybe a little bit, but not a ton. But they are actually looking at doing theming so that the default theme doesn't look like it's 10 years old anymore, which is pretty cool. So there's some exciting stuff coming. So I suspect we will be seeing more WPF in Microsoft release notes, which makes me very happy. Okay, material design and XAML. So 5.0 release went out, and I braced myself for what I had assumed was going to be an impending swath of bugs. And it was not bug-free. If it had been bug-free, I would have been questioning if anybody had downloaded it. But the number of bugs that have come in and the issues that have come up have been significantly less than what I had anticipated, which is very, very exciting. But this one did come up, and it made me want to kind of dive in and take a look at it, because this is a very interesting bug. And I don't think I've downloaded the sample app on this machine yet. But the idea here is there was a pretty big refactor that happened for the 5.0 release, kind of around Flipper card related stuff. I did several streams on the Flipper where I was playing around with different stuff, and then I realized I was an idiot and could have done it a lot simpler, and we switched and did that. And so there's a new Flipper in the 5.0 release that doesn't use the 3D stuff inside of WPF. The 3D stuff gets you a little bit nicer flip animation, but because of the way it does the rendering, you oftentimes kill clear type. And clear type is what you can see happening here. Oftentimes people report bugs with clear type as the text is blurry. The text is blurry. Why is the text blurry? Well, if we zoom in on text, oh, do I not have zoom it running? Stand by. Need my tools. Right? If I zoom all the way in, you can see on some of these letters, there's little like blue and red around them that make the font look really sharp. And if we zoom in on the blurry looking ones, we can see it's all just shades of gray. And that looks, and this in fact is just even more blurry than what's normal. And it just looks horrible, right? That is not what we want to see. Like even I think, I'm trying to remember how much, yeah, even on the dark white or the dark theme, you can see the blues and reds that are basically there. It's a cool optical, I don't know, I don't know if optical illusion is the right word, but the anybody wants to play along at home, you can read all about it. But it is a very cool way of getting that really sharp looking text and having it look really nice. And I won't claim to fully understand all of this, aside from I know when people complain about blurry text, I immediately zoom in and look for blues and reds, because that's the easiest way for me to be able to identify it. Because when text looks like crap, it's usually because clear type has been accidentally disabled. Now in WPF, clear type typically gets disabled because of the drop shadow effect. So specifically in the material design library, we have the elevation is what it got renamed to in 5.0. It used to be called shadow assist. Now it's elevation assist. And because of how it gets applied, anything inside of that drop shadow effect, in order for it to render, it kills clear type, which is unfortunate. So, but because we're using it for elevation, we aren't usually trying to put a drop shadow on text. We're usually trying to put a drop shadow on like a card that contains text. The problem is WPF doesn't know that that's our intent. And so we kind of have to do some element finagling to kind of clean it up. So I was going to take a look at this one here. I've started throwing things in a 5.1 milestone. We may kick out a 5.01. So I can't promise that exactly when this is going to go. And we may, because there's already a handful of things that have gotten kind of closed up. Like this data grid style that is probably worth cleaning up. So there's a handful of minor things. So there may be like a 5.01 that goes out the door. But I did also see that someone posted up a memory dump for me. So, and actually I may just kick that download off real quick as well. Oh boy, it's a little big. Let's see here. I would like to download the memory dumps. Where is the download button? Download. Thank you. Okay, we're going to let that guy go ahead and keep going, and then we'll see. Oh, it's downloading. There it goes. It is taking its sweet time because those files are a little over a gig apiece. That's exciting. So it'll be nice to take a look and see what is going on there. I have a sinking suspicion, because this has come up now from multiple people in disparate areas. I have a suspicion it's going to end up being hardware related. I just have that suspicion because it's been very difficult to diagnose and, more importantly, to recreate. And once these download, I will let this guy know that he can free up some space on his OneDrive, because they're taking up over 2 gigs, and I can understand not wanting to leave them there. So I may put them up somewhere else, because I'm going to go out on a limb. GitHub probably doesn't let you host 1 gig binary files. So what a shock. Yeah, because it's kind of a big memory dump. So we'll let that guy go. Downloading 1 gig files while streaming, what could go wrong? Okay, so we might, if we get time, take a look at this memory leak as well, because that's another big one. And it's showing up in the demo application, but I've had a handful of people report it in their apps as well. So maybe related to something we're doing in the library. Who knows? This one just annoys me. GitHub kind of, in my opinion, screwed up and spammed people, because I got this same issue logged against a lot of my repos. Like, yeah. And then I think they turned off whatever spammy bot they had running for it. Okay, so let's take a look at wherever the where the blurry text one go. Nope. I was also in the process of cleaning up the wiki as well. So for people who are worried about docs, so there is some cleanup occurring there. And apparently I broke my sidebar here. So maybe we'll circle back. This was the next page I was going to work on getting updated because it is now out of date as well and a little bit easier to work with. Okay, apparently, let's see. Design time view is not the same as runtime. Why did I not? Yeah. Oh, that was just a circle back to double check, but that is unlikely to be the problem. Let's see. Memory leak. Where is this one? This one. There. That's the one I want. I want this one. Okay. So we're gonna take a look at this, and let me go and grab the sample. Let's just extract all the files. And we're off to the races. Okay. Let's fire this up, see what's going on, and then see if we can... Yeah, I've already looked at this project. I know it's safe. Thank you. Carry on. Okay. Okay, so step one always in bugs is reproduce the problem. Because if we can't reproduce, what are we even doing here? What are we even doing here? Interesting that showed a blue squiggle. I wonder if that's just it hasn't finished restoring. Yeah, so step one, can confirm. And the one thing I'm noticing, so I made a comment earlier that we typically don't apply a drop shadow to text. This looks like we're applying the drop shadow. I'm just noticing that right away. So we're going to start with this. Everybody's favorite Snoop. Because Snoop is awesome and we all love Snoop. Or at least I love Snoop and everyone else should learn to love it as well. I keep thinking, okay, minor gripe. And I might go and do this. Light theme, dark theme. This is, in fact, a dark theme, but typically dark theme, this is more like a high contrast dark theme. I kind of want a dark theme, but I don't want a high contrast theme. So, because I think this is like almost true black, true white in both cases, which is a really steep contrast. And you'll note like the material design one and a lot of apps that have a dark theme, it's a little more subtle, like, right? So you can see even Visual Studio, the difference between here and here, dark theme, more like high contrast dark theme. So it's like it's subdued black. Like it shouldn't be pure black. It should be on the dark side of the spectrum, but yeesh. Yeah, so I end up not using the dark theme in Snoop a lot simply because of that. Okay, so I have a suspicion that if I look at the effects, I am going to end up finding something in here that looks real suspicious. Yeah, so I see that there. And what happens if I just delete it? Oh, it's not going to let me. Let's see. So it wants the elevation assist. So if I do elevation, right? Oh, and I can't go below 0. Ooh, that's an interesting thing. Because this is one of the changes that we implemented where we went from shadow assist to elevation assist. I can't remember if shadow allowed null or not. Might have to go back and check, and I assume I'm going to get the same behavior here. Oh, look at that. So this was set at 1. Yeah, so that's functionally the problem, is when I set this to 1 versus when I set this to 0. Right? When I set this to 0, it's still killing true type, right? We can see the difference in about. One about has nice reds and blues littering the font. The other one is just grayscale. So problem one, the elevation assist is being applied directly to the text of the card. And actually, that's probably the same problem. So, because if we fix that, because in an ideal situation, what should happen with the card with the elevation assist set is it should apply to the card itself and not to the contents. It's something very explicit. Oftentimes, we'll put like a border in the root of the template and apply the elevation to that border, and that border will be a sibling lower. Is it lower in the Z order? In the Z order behind the text content, because I can't remember which way is up and down. Zero's down, I think, so higher number. So lower in the Z order than the, yeah, because it counts in order. Yeah, 0. Lower in the Z order, but a sibling of the content, not a direct parent. Because if it's not a direct parent in the visual tree, it prevents it from breaking true type because the effect falls down through the children. So I suspect that's part of the problem. Now, if I remember right, yeah. So part of the issue that I realized when looking at this is this occurred because this app wasn't set up properly, right? If we go and look at the newly written Getting Started guide, not that it was just done moments ago, because that would never happen. Your changes will be lost. What changes? I'm not editing the page, right? This is how an app.xaml should probably look, right? Something in this vicinity. It's interesting that I did I do a 2 in both places? No, I did a 2 there and a 3 there. That's weird. Hang on, we're fixing this real quick. I'm trying to point people more towards the 3 defaults rather than the 2. Because that's where like some of the newer styles are, and it looks a little nicer, right? So this is what it should look like. But if I remember right, doing this doesn't actually fully fix the problem either. Oh, and that's not going to work because I didn't include the material design namespace. Nope. Hush now. Hush now. I understand you're unhappy with me. That's probably why XAML Styler was unhappy. It was going, I don't know what to do with the namespace. Yeah, so this somewhat fixes it, right? We can see that when we appropriately apply the style, which applies the template, this no longer looks like crap. It still is breaking true type, though, which is problematic, right? That we don't want to happen because now this is set up properly and true type is still broken. So that itself is bad. And I assume it's going to be related if I pull up Snoop on this, because I'm not overly interested in trying to solve the problem where somebody's trying to use an attached property from the library but hasn't actually set up the library. Like that's kind of a weird state to be in. Like you're trying to use a card without a card. That's awkward. Okay. So if I go here and we walk up the food chain, yeah. So I think the issue here is just that we have elevation, right? Is the fact that we have this thing propagating down rather than stopping. And more importantly, there's nothing, this is just a straight linear hierarchy all the way down and nothing separates this. Okay. Okay, perfect. So now we've got an idea of what's going on. Other repo. And let me just check real quick. A moment. I don't remember where I left my Get Kraken. Should have checked it. Should have checked it before I started. Oh, yeah. See, I was in the wrong place. See, I knew something was going to go wrong if I did something like that. Okay. I want my other repo. And poof, look at that. See? Flawless transition. Flawless. Okay, so we're going to go here. Oh, and I told Nikolai I'd look at his smart hint stuff as well, which I need to do that. Okay. Been a chaotic week. I was gone all week to the summit, came back, did a hackathon, then had a nice full busy Sunday. Back to work on Monday. Didn't really get a break. So it kind of feels like I've been going at 100% for over a week. And that's a lot. And I don't think I'm getting a break until Sunday. It's going to be a long week. Ooh. Okay. So let's go. And I want to go look at cards. I want to double check these guys, right? Do we have the same problem here? Yeah. Yeah. So we can easily see that even just right here, we have the same problem. No reds and blues. We want reds and blues. Okay, so let's go take a look at. Let's grab the card. Let's grab the card. Okay, we're going to close all the stuff that's not a card. I don't know if I can write a test for this very easily. How do you test that you haven't broken true type? I don't know if there's an easy way to actually test for that. An awkward thing to try to test for. Okay. Let's see. So material design elevation card. There's the template. And this guy here, I think, is our problem child. I wonder why this guy has a background of transparent. Because not setting a background and setting a background of transparent in WPF, one of the big differences that it does is for hit testing. So when you click, it has to figure out what element your mouse is over and what you're clicking on, right? And so it has to walk down the tree and figure out, this is the element that you're on. And if you don't set a background, the click passes through you into the thing underneath. You set a background of transparent, well, that actually then causes you to hit that element instead. And is hit test visible plays a factor in this as well, makes it more interesting. The background is being set here. This guy has the background. This guy has a corner radius. I'm wondering if we just need to duplicate this border. So what I am thinking, I'm just going to wing this real quick, is the donor decorator. Wait, what is going on? This is shadow assist. Pulling in the elevation. Is it just a bug based on the fact that we also have it being applied here? Like, is this entire bug because of this one line? Might be that one line. I'm going to try this. Because if I remember correctly, this whole point of this adorner decorator was to do the drop shadow and have it be a sibling of the border rather than the other one. So let's go here. Still no dice. Okay, so we're going to go down the next path of what I am thinking is this guy here. So shadow mask converter. That exists there inside the control resources. That doesn't concern me that much. I'm just looking through this. Content presenter, content clip. Let's see. If clip content is true, content presenter, clip, relative source, template parent. Background. I'm just trying to see what in here might make a difference. And I don't think. So margin, vertical, content string format. None of those things there. Okay, so let's start with the obvious. If we kill off, oh, the adorner decorator wraps all of this. Hang on. Clear type. There is a page in the docs. Oh, this isn't helpful. Yeah, that's not helpful. That is not helpful. I'm looking for the things that turn it off, and registry settings are not the answer. There is a page in here that outlines what things that you change that cause clear type to be disabled. Okay. Provide the following features. Yeah, we approve. Yes. The drop shadow on text. So you can get this effect, but you kill clear type when you do. Draw text. A custom text formatter, blah, blah, blah. See. Back up to here, and we'll look at the text formatting. Advanced text formatting, using the formatter, yeah. Client side, don't care. Specifying format properties, don't care. There is a... This way, whether transform. Boy, I'm going to bookmark this when I find it. I'm going to put this here. Yeah, so this here is clearly the problem. Yeah. So when you use shadow effects, they do not go through the text rendering pipeline. As a result, clear type is disabled when using these effects. All right, so you turn these on, text can appear blurry. I'll put it that way. Can appear blurry. It's not nearly as big of a problem if you're doing something like this, where you're basically kind of coloring the text. It's a header and you're going for stylistic rather than readability. Right? If it's more of a stylized thing, great. Right? You can use the blur similar and do this kind of thing. Like, great, fine. That is perfectly fine, but it causes you to kill the perf or the look of it. Okay, I can't find it, so we're gonna go around and do this a little bit differently. So I think if I do this, right, and I do this, and I don't even think this attached property does anything, does it? Uniform corner radius. Oh, this effect will definitely do something, because that's going to set an effect. If I do this, I think I get my clear type back. Because now I've eliminated everything related to an applying effect, and that should fix the problem. Okay. Not border, card. Aha! See? Blues and reds. We like blue and red. Okay. So, clear type has been restored. So, not shocking. And the big issue being that, and it's easier to see in light theme than dark theme, we've lost all of our elevation. Right? See? New flipper, old flipper. Old Flipper has a pretty animation. New Flipper has pretty text and changes with your theme. So you can pick which one you like. We left the classic Flipper in place, or Flipper Classic. So if people want the old behavior, you are welcome to go grab it. It's just I'm not providing. I switched to this so that it was useful, and I want to confirm that this thing has, yeah, clear type enabled on it now too. Excellent, 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 excellent. Okay, so now we need to set. Let's go up to our demo app and give one of these things a ridiculous elevation just to make it a little more obvious what we're doing. Because I want to be able to see this. Demos. There I am. I am not as blind as I appear. Oh man, I had the scariest experience at the MVP Summit. There was one day where I woke up and I have a completely irrational fear. Let's see. You can adjust the corner raised. Completely irrational fear of things touching my eyeballs. I do not like it. I do not like it at all. And I had this problem where it was like something had fallen into my eye. Not a big deal, you know, you scrape it out, whatever, and you go on with your day. This would not come out at all, and it bothered me for like 6 hours, and my vision went blurry. I ended up calling a medical friend of mine, seeking advice, and got as far as going to a emergency room clinic to just like, this is something is wrong. I was a little worried because I had driven all the way to the summit and I was going to have several hour drive back, and I kind of wanted to be able to see while driving on the freeway. That seemed like an important part of the commute. So yeah, thankfully all better now, but turns out eyesight's kind of important. Okay, so I think what we want to go through here is I want to separate out this border. I'm just double checking the stuff that's set on it, and the border behind it. Yeah, so I think what we want to do is because we've got the corner radius one, the clip border. I'm trying to decide if we need, I don't know if we need, because this is going to apply a corner radius. This is just applying a clip. I love how it's lost its mind on the syntax highlighted. I think what I want to do here is I want to set this up separately. I think is what we're going for. Where do you think? Okay, Visual Studio, you've lost your mind. Really passed the card one. I was hoping to just see the red. Yeah, I was looking for the little red check. Okay, I think. Am I crazy? Where'd it go? There. I think that might get me back into a better state. Because then the adorner decorator lives alongside. Something is telling me that this isn't going to size properly because it has nothing to wrap around, and I need to set up a border inside of it to match the other one. I think. But let's find out. Yeah, because that has no elevation showing up around it. Okay, so what we are going to need is this thing to basically be the same size as the other one. So let's do just for kicks and giggles. Because I'm going to need it to have the same corner radius as this one. Going to need that. We can self-close because I don't think we need to do much. Let's go X name. Actually, you know what? We may not need to bind the size. I think what I am missing, though, is the effect that we dropped. Because before we had this guy here. I would like to inline view, I think. No, split view. Yeah, I think that's more like what I want. Yeah, because I want to be able to copy this guy here. Says I want that to be there. Put it something like that. Okay, let's give this a shot. I'm trying to think of what this border is going to do. It has no content, but I think its size is equal to the other one because its horizontal and vertical alignment should be stretch by default. Not seeing it, but let's grab Snoop and let's play around with it because we can tweak this guy until we get the look we're going for. Okay, you there, gimme. Okay, so we're gonna back up to the card. There's the card there. Let's make sure we have our elevation. So DP12, great. Inside of here, we have an adorner decorator. And I want to look at height and width. So the height and the width is appropriately set. I look at the effect. And then inside of you should be a border. And you have an effect that's being set. Though your elevation is DP0. All right, why is this not giving me... Is it clipping? Not being clipped, I don't think. Okay, I'm going to take this border and I'm going to change his... For people who haven't seen it, the little pipe here in this, you can use to do an OR in your search. I'm going to change... visibility to hidden. I want to look at what the heck this guy's doing. Yeah, so this guy is set, but he doesn't... Why am I not getting... I should be seeing a drop shadow effect. Delve. Yeah, so there's a drop shadow effect. Blur radius of 25. Got the color set on. Like, it has all the values. Why am I not seeing it render? Is it being cut off? I wonder if it's being cut off. Do this. Get rid of this for the moment. And let's go down to M margin. If I do 10, 20. Like I don't get why I'm not seeing a drop shadow effect at all getting rendered. Adorner decorator, cache mode. AC mask converter. Um, this guy really should get renamed. Um, are you the one causing me grief? Bring you off for the moment. don't know if that's actually going to make a difference. So adorner decorators in WPF, or I should say adorners in general. I was talking about the visual tree earlier in the Z ordering of controls. The adorner layer is a layer that sits on top of your controls, and it's designed typically where people can decorate or put things on top of elements. But it is important to note that the adorner layer is on top of your regular visual tree. But, and on top of is kind of the wrong words. It's not like a topmost layer because you can insert it at particular layers in the visual tree. And that's what the adorner decorator does, is it creates an adorner layer. That way you can actually apply layering to these things because you want it on top of the thing that it decorates, but you don't want it. Yeah, I'm getting nothing. What is going on? What is going on? Kind of curious. Was this work? Did we just break? Turn everything off for the moment. Put it all back the way it was. All back the way it was. Here. Right, do that, relaunch. Did we break the entire set of elevation stuff? Should probably go through and update these brushes now. For people who haven't seen it, there was a great contribution that came in on the 5.0 stuff. There was actually migration guide. There is some scripts to go through and handle the renames for you. So if you just want to blindly run a script for doing a find and replace, be aware it is hunting for very specific patterns in your XAML and replacing them. They are probably the most common, but depending on how you've written your stuff, they won't catch everything. So they're a good first pass. I'll say that. They'll probably get most people somewhere between 90% and all the way there. Okay. So it works. Okay. That's good to know. So I'm just an idiot. So then when I take this border and I do this, right? Just relaunch you one simple change at a time. One simple change at a time. Because this, I'm a bit confused. No, that works. Okay. Right, and still no true type because we have the effect on it. Great. I'm going to put a border here. I'm going to self-close it. I'm going to copy these guys into it. And again, my assumption is that the main border is actually doing the heavy lifting. This guy here. So now if I launch this, I should still see it. And my expectation would be that the shadow would be doubled, and so it would show up darker. That's my assumption. But clearly I've done something wrong. All right, because I'm slowly working my way back to where I was. I should really set my startup page to cards so I don't have to keep doing that. All right, so there's that. I don't know if I can tell if it's darker or not. Right, okay, so if I go in here and I turn off, right, so I'm going to just zero in on that. Right, grab this and we're going to walk our way up. There's the content presenter. There's the adorner decorator. Wait, this is the wrong one. Oh, that's the right one. Where's the card? There. I'm one level too high. There's the adorner decorator. There's the border. If I take this border and I change its visibility, right, from visible to hidden, the shadow disappears. So if the shadow isn't on, I bet you. Yeah, that's the problem. See, now it shows up. The issue that I had on the other one is that I hadn't appropriately applied a background to it. So it's not going to pick anything up. But see here, because if we just, can we get away with, rather than doing that, can I change this to, no, I can't, because in order to do a drop shadow, it needs to know the color. If I combine the colors together, like I'm very tempted to do this. Very tempted to do this. What concerns me though is as the padding increases, this becomes increasingly wrong. But I think this is close. And I think if we, so let's start with this. Let's make sure this gets us the behavior we expect. So I think it'll get us pretty close. Because I think this is the area we just have to be very careful about, is not accidentally applying the drop shadow effect to an element where you're okay, I'm getting annoyed having to change my page. I just decided I'm done doing that. So I go properties, launch settings, come on. And rather than home, Visual Studio. Hello? Ah, okay. Don't know what you were doing there. Thank you. That was way too long. Typing a 5-character word should not take more than half a second. There we go. Okay, so we're going to go light theme just because it's easier to see the shadow. We can see the shadow there. We've got some elevation. So we have our elevation, and more importantly, we have our pretty blue and red little lines around our font. And I am not using my box tool, so I had to freehand draw that, and you can see how badly my drawing is. Right there. So, okay, so that's better. That's better. What I'm concerned with is the clip. I'm concerned with the clip. I wish we had, I hope we have an example. Because I don't know if we have an example of a clip being appropriately applied. Or clip converter. Yeah. Okay. Clearly clipboard is popular in the pack icon. Don't care. Don't care. There we go. Up to bounds. Sorry, I just noticed this doesn't have an S on it. It's bothering me. Okay. Let's see here. I don't think we have an example of one. And this is applying the clip to the grid. But I don't know if we have a good example of a clip being applied. And I'm a little concerned because putting the background here, though it works, I'm wondering if I need to actually do this with it as well. I think I do. I think I do because I'm going to get bit if the padding and the clip are both set. I think we need to do this. It doesn't need a name, and more importantly, it doesn't need a duplicate name because that's dumb. The background goes there. The clip goes like that. This background drops off, and we verify it still works. I think that's fine. It's disappointing that we have to double up on our content. What is your problem here? Oh, I didn't close you. Should be better now. Great. Launch. I think that gets it a little bit closer. Just a little bit. Okay, so we got that working. That makes me feel a lot better. Okay, I would like to test this on the outline card as well. So I think what I want to do is, this is a stack panel, right? Yeah, good. Let's see. Go here. Cards. Outline 1. I would like to do, let's see, style. I want to do the outline card, and I think this guy comes with a border color preset. Border brush, yeah. So he comes pre-canned. Now I may want to separate this out. This is an area that I haven't necessarily done a lot of work in yet, but we now have the ability to break out these theme brushes a little bit better. Okay, I don't like the background on that card. So I don't want to do this, and I don't want to do this. Let's see. Cards can use the outline style. Yeah. Wishful thinking that Hot Reload would do that for me. Wishful thinking. Okay, so if I go here, I'm also realizing that that outline color, the one, we are not breaking true type here, but I don't think this one breaks it because it doesn't have elevation applied in the template. Because the outline card is just, it's very simple. Right? In fact, I think we can go as far as we can even get rid of this grid. It's not providing any value. I am curious. Dark theme. The border color stays dark. Hover background. I'm wondering if that's incorrect and if it should be a lighter color. I'm wondering if it should be a lighter color. Let's take a look. I think it probably should be, because in a dark theme, this is not an outline card. I think it should be a, we might just spin ourselves a new brush here real quick. So the magical incantation that we have for this whole mess that I have made is, I believe it's this guy. Nope. Theme colors. This is the guy. Okay. So I would like to go through, we're going to do material design, brush, and I want something around cards, outline, border, or something to that effect. Brush, card, background. So the question is, what should it be? It's not going to have any obsolete keys because this is a new brush. That's a negative. And then the question becomes, what colors should this actually use? What should it be called? Should it be called outline? Border? Border doesn't sound bad. Outline border? This is the hard part about naming things. I don't know what makes sense. Because this is a brush that is only going to be used by the outline style. I don't think we're going to apply it to both. I don't think it makes sense in both. Does it make sense in both? I mean, you definitely wouldn't want to apply it by default in both cases. That's for certain. We definitely wouldn't apply it both. But does this thing have a... Doesn't even expose... It doesn't even expose a border. Do these things have a... These things do have a border brush. Why is the... Hold on. These things have a border brush. Why is this not using... This... Okay, we're cleaning this up. Setter, property, border thickness, value 1. Okay, so here, this is a good instructional moment, right? So previously in the template, border thickness was hard-coded to 1. This means no one can change it, right? If we do a setter and apply a border thickness to 1, and then down here, we do template binding, border thickness. Now it's a style. People can derive from the style. They can apply a value to this, and it'll actually have meaning, right? And then I think this guy's going away as well, right? So this is going to become... Do it up there. Visual Studio. What are you doing? Let's see. Setter, property, border brush, value, and then this is going to be a dynamic resource. And the real question is, what is the name of the brush that we're going to put here? Right? Because this is the old behavior. Right? So that goes there. And then this guy just uses it. Just uses it. And I'm kind of wondering if there's any reason not to expose these same two properties. Here's what I'm thinking. It's probably not great design, but I've learned that the moment I exclude something as a possibility, people will try to use it. But then I think what we do is we take these two values here. These two values here. Right? We go up here and we say, you know what? We will allow the border to be applied on any of the cards. We're just going to default the thickness on the elevated one to 0. Functionally, it's not there. But if you decide you want to go through and set it, you can turn it on. Right? So then I think that makes this one a little easier. This just becomes card border. Right? Beautiful. Okay. So now the question. Before we were using text box hover background. Let's go down to text box. Let's grab whatever it's using to start with. Text box hover background. So these were These were the values. I was using white. Might want to go look at that. Let's see. Card border. So we're going to go here. Oh, apparently I copied the wrong thing. There. Black, white. Okay, so this will be material design brush card border. Come over here. Nope, we come over here. Brush card. Right? Border. Now there is this is the whole point of doing that entire theming extravaganza that I went through, is so that stuff like this doesn't have to be a big deal, right? We decide we need a new brush. We can have it. We can have our brush. Now here's the cool part, right? So you'll see that I edited a JSON file. But Kevin, what does that actually do? I'm glad you asked. Glad you asked. If we set our startup project to here, there are multiple run profiles that are declared inside of the launch settings.json. There's themings, icons, swashes, brushes, right? And what we want down here. Ooh, I can't remember. What's the difference between theming and brushes? Do I want theming or do I want brushes? I think I want theming. We're going to run this because I think theming does the whole kit and caboodle. Right? So it does stuff. Okay. And now if I look at my diff, I see a whole metric ton of files changed. Is what we wanted. So I wanted all of my theming implemented. So you'll note it generated me tests. So that's kind of cool. I like that. It generated out the new, well, that doesn't count. The new light and dark theme resources. So I now have card border on both of those. It generated out my extension methods for me. That was just because I couldn't stand to look at a lack of an S. It generated out the new color reference on the theme and the theme extensions. Mwah! That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, now we go back to demo and we hit go. That's how hard theming should be. You edit it. Yep. The hardest part was picking the name and picking the colors. Perfect. Perfect. Very elegant. And if anybody wants to see what that is, you're welcome to dig into the code. It's not advanced. It reads a JSON file. Okay, so I'm a little concerned that it doesn't seem like there is a border there, but it's not still quite light. Right? And if I go there, it's still like it's there, but it's very, very light. I'm curious because I thought it was going white 0. So we're gonna just check what it does on theme changes. We're gonna go here. We're gonna zero in on this guy, and let's find him because it's this border here. Let's see, border brush. All right, so there's that. And now if I come over here, I change this. It does switch. I am noticing part of the issue, though, is it has a transparency key set on it. This is something I haven't liked very much. Is these guys here, when it sets a transparency, it means the background color gets to help drive. And I don't like that. I kind of want to flatten these things out. This is a new brush. We can do this kind of stuff. Where is the base theme colors? That's what I want to look at. I think that's where this is defined, and I don't think I can change base theme colors, at least not on a minor version rev. That's going to be a little too much. But we could switch these guys out. Because I think maybe what we want to do, because you can see here, the first value here is an alpha channel. And so rather than using the ones with the alpha channel, we should go to the neutral ones. I'm thinking We try like neutral 100, neutral 800. I think is where we're going. Because you can see white is going to be, we could even do like neutral 900 might be too much. Let's try neutral 800 for dark theme. And then like neutral 100 for light theme. Right? So let's go back over here. So card border. Let's see. I already forgot what I just said. Light theme, we're going to go with neutral 100. And so we're going to change. That'll be light theme. And then I think we said we're going to try neutral 800. See how that lands. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Editing a JSON file does nothing if you don't regen. Great. I spent a great deal of time making it so that I could just blindly click the go button on the generator and not have to think. Part of the other thing that's worth noting, because some people might say, well, why didn't you use a C# source generator? Which would have been an option for part of it. But the part where C# source generators fall over is they are C# source generators. They don't work for generating XAML, which is somewhat problematic. Okay. Might be a little bright. We might subdue it a little more in dark theme. Let's see how it looks in light theme. So we might, and that's a little dark. Okay, so let's bring them closer to the middle. So let's do 2 and 7. Right? And actually we might go 3 and 7. Let's try that, see where that looks. Over there. Gen the new brushes. Do all the theming stuff. You're awesome. Rerun the demo app. Oh, I love it when a plan comes together. I love it when a plan comes together. That 5.0 release was like a year of my life just chipping away at it. But mwah, mwah. I think it's getting us better. I have aspirations of being able to propagate this out for other things as well. Okay, so I'm noticing one thing immediately. This guy here, was he intentionally? Oh, he is an outline card. Oh, if I had paid closer attention, he says outline. All right, just double checking the true type. Okay, that looks, it's a little more, could even go down a little bit. Now let's bring him a little closer again. Go like 4 and 6. And just keep dialing down. I think it's getting closer. I'm just worried that doing neutral on both might be, because it was clearly not good on the dark theme before, so I think they need to be separate brushes. What was the other one? It was text box hover. That one was the one that was using the, yeah, it was using the opacity, but it was fairly, at 100 was not much. That doesn't look bad to me in the dark theme. If you're wanting an outline, having something a little more subdued. Still feels a little, I guess it is lighter, but man, that feels like we could go even more. Like we could go even more. I wonder if we can just, here, let's see if we can try this freehand. I don't remember if it lets me get away with this or not. Nope, that's not the resource I want. I want to go here. I want to go with border. And I want to change this to, oh, you're not going to let me change it easily on the fly, but I can go to base colors. And because right now we are sitting where? Gotta go back up to card. Let's see, we're sitting on light theme at 400. If I want to go to the next one, it's going to be 86s. If I go here, if I do FF 868686, sorry, FF 868686. All right, that goes in there. Man, I could go more on that. Let's go big. I'm wondering if maybe I got it just backwards. D8s. All right, so let's go here and we'll go D8, D8, D8. I think I just started on the wrong side on each of them. There, that's better. Might be a little too far now. We back it off. B9s is the next level. Over here, border. Nope, stop moving around. I know I clicked a sort. Please don't do that. B9, B9, B9. And click off. Yeah, I think I like that. Let's do that. So for light, we're going to do neutral 700. There, rather than neutral 7s. See where that goes. Good morning, Izzy. No, you did not miss a week. I was gone to the Microsoft MVP Summit last week, so no stream. Hopefully you were not awaiting me. At present, we are cleaning up the card styles. So we'd started down the path of cleaning up this issue here, which this user here, he's contributed several times and is great at testing. Just updated the 5.0 release and found a very compelling bug. The actual bug, or I should say part of the bug, was the app.xaml wasn't set up properly. But even with the app.xaml set up properly, TrueType was disabled. So we've addressed that on the card. And now I'm dealing with the fact that the outline card's border didn't look good when you toggle between light and dark theme. This is, we'll call it bonus points at the moment. So we're going to bring this guy down a little bit. Let's try him in the 45 range and see how he looks. All right, so if we come down here and we change this up, we're going to do 45, 45, 45. Boom. That is probably just ballparking it way too bloody dark, I'm guessing. Yeah, that's like impossible. We need to lighten that up as well. So that's way too much. So let's do like 86s and see where that lands. Come down here and let's go here and see 86, 86, 86. Boom. Okay, so we go here, we go here. That's not bad, honestly. Enough that it's obvious, but not enough that it's in the way. I like that. I like that. So let's see. 86 is neutral 500. We come over here and on black, we do neutral 500. Boom. Stop. Use generator to do magic. Generate all the theming stuff for me so I don't have to think too hard. Thank you very much. Come here, run demo app. Ooh, very nice. Let me know how it goes. I've also been in the process of updating the wiki documentation. However, the most important doc, which I think you've probably already seen at least once, is the it's not in here. The discussions here, this 5.0 migration guide. This covers at least the common ones, and as people have posted with issues, I've been making sure they're covered here. Honestly, the big one that bites everybody is this one straight up, like right in the beginning. Because before you had material design theme.defaults, that's no longer valid. You got to pick between 2 or 3. So if you want to basically keep your app looking exactly as it was, pick 2. If you want to try out some of the newer styles, pick 3. That's it. Because not all the controls have been updated with Material Design 3 defaults, so only some of the controls have newer looks to them. So if you want to try out some of the newer stuff, pick 3. If you don't, pick 2, and you'll keep it exactly as is. More or less. So that's the big one. And then the renames, if you want to, there was some nice contributions, updating some PowerShell scripts. So if you want to run a blind PowerShell script that does a find and replace for you, there's a couple PowerShell scripts linked there that you can fire off. That way, and it'll for most people, the PowerShell scripts will get you most of the way there. Is there much of a difference? No, there's not a huge difference. And in fact, I can show you the difference very well. Hang on, let me look at this real quick. That looks good. That looks good. Okay. So the big difference, if we flip over to the Material Design 3 demo, I have aspirations of collapsing these 2 demo apps into one. The hard part is I point people at the app.xaml. So there's a handful of things in here. You'll note this doesn't even have all of the controls because there's not a huge number of differences. Some of the big ones are the toggles. You'll note look a little bit different. There are some default like rounded corner changes that go in a little differently. I'm trying to remember what else in here has a Material Design 3 default that's much different. That might be most of them. You'll note you get like the list view, you get like this corner thing that's a little bit different of a look going through there. So again, if you want to try it, feel free to go for it. It is definitely more of the experimentally things. Well, that's exciting. Oh, we didn't update the 3 demo to fix the styling. Okay, we'll hold that for a moment. I'm gonna get this other PR moved in. So yeah, there's not a ton in there. The toggles and some of the rounded corners, I think, are a lot of the big ones that you will end up seeing. Okay, so let's get this guy in. So let's go here. We go here. We go, let's make a branch. Create branch, fix, and then 3, 4, 6, 6. Wow, that is what happens when you have caps locks turned on. Okay, let's just check the changes here. So always review your changes. So launch setting change. No, we aren't going to put that through. I think I do like my change to the demo app to include the elevation and then the outline here as well. I think that is a reasonable change because the outline on the other one is kind of big and hard to see. Anything with .g, I'm just automatically slapping in because that was generated for me from my little generator guy. So we're just going to take it. These were our card changes, with the key one being moving the adorner decorator so it doesn't break 2 type. Dark light theme brush generations. Generated method, ripple assist adding an S. Theme colors.json adding the new brush. And then, oh, I forgot my generator generates this file too. Oh. I don't want to gen this one. Interesting. I'll have to go back and fix that. I didn't realize that was a generated PowerShell script. Trying to decide. I may want my generator to not do that going forward. It was useful for a 5.0, but I may not want to keep that. I'll think on that. Because the migration script is kind of a point in time thing, and I don't think I want it generating everything going forward. Let's see. Fix. Let's see. 3466. Cards now maintain clear type. Great. Added new theme brush for card borders. Elevated card now supports borders. Let's see. I think that was it. Yeah. Okay. Commit. And my favorite keystroke, click. So you'll know I haven't even pushed this branch. I just made a commit. Click, drag onto target branch, push, and start pull request. This is awesome. Okay. So click, drag, drop, push, start pull request. We click. We wait for a moment while the push completes. We come over here and we go send it. And then I click the button to open it on GitHub and I go enable auto merge, enable auto merge. I put it in the milestone and I realized that if I had appropriately put fixes pound 3466. Oh, that's not the right thing. 3499. See, my vision's upside down again. Update, comment, edit. No, edit. Boom. Save. Okay. And then do I go back? I should fix this. Update message. So you'll know this is a brand new commit. Force push to clean it up like it never happened. Perfect. The branch name is still wrong, but the branch name goes away in a minute once the thing completes. So whatever. Okay, so that goes there. That's going to clean this guy up. And then this one goes away shortly. Okay. Okay. Let's take a brief gander at the memory dumps that were sent. I'm going to back this up to master. It's just my launch settings. Okay, great. Okay, so I downloaded some dump files from this issue. Let's see here. I think it was this one, or was it this one? Not this one. I recently upgraded 4.9 from 4.8. This one calls out that it was introduced between 4.9 and 4.8, which might be interesting. This one also calls out 4.9 as a potential problem. What concerns me greatly is that this is unmanaged memory. That's what concerns me the most. That is what concerns me the most. But conveniently, we got memory dumps now. So give me a quick second to unzip some of these files. Let's see. Okay, so I have, let's see, extract all. Let's see, and then I can close down this app since we no longer need it. And then, okay. And then extract all. Okay. Oh, interesting. Wait a minute. Why are there two? Oh, I did not need to down. Got it. So I downloaded it twice like a moron. Okay. Got it. Thank you, OneDrive. You were less than helpful. Okay, so this is the first memory dump and the second memory dump. So let's take a look and see what we have. Hopefully, something useful. Okay, so running the just immediately right out the gate, we can see that this is net 8. They have different sizes though. Yeah, so um I believe they're expected to be different sizes. The size of the memory dump doesn't necessarily indicate the size of the memory leak. So that just to be aware. The fact that these are 1 gig in size is likely an indication that they were full memory dumps, which is ideal because that means they're going to have useful stuff in here. Why? Okay, Microsoft. Like, why? 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 Okay, but we are running the demo app. We are running the Net 8 version. Let's see. Let's do debug with mixed, I guess. Let's see what we can come up with. Well, actually, the diagnostic analyzer is probably just as useful. I entered the stream. The first thing I hear is Microsoft. Why? Yeah. I am very much a Microsoft fanboy, but there are times. So, for example, Visual Studio, I bump all of my font sizes up off the defaults because I do streaming and presentations all the time, and I want that. The problem is there's a number of places inside of Visual Studio where they don't handle that very nicely. For example, that like what is that? Like why? Can we not do that, please? Okay. Memory dump summary, but I don't okay, I'm clearly missing something obvious here. I'm glad you analyzed this, but that is not what I want. On the engineering side, I mean, yeah, there is one thing that does bother me. So parts of Visual Studio are built using WPF, and one of the easiest ways to deal with DPI and WPF is don't hard code crap. So widths, heights, fonts, etc. If you don't hard code it, it'll just scale to fit. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean no work, but it means if you hard code it, to do positioning, you're doing it wrong. And so oftentimes what I have seen is that is the root. Why am I not getting a useful diagnostics out of this? It is already being debugged. I'm glad to hear that. Can you show me the information, please? It's like it's, oh, there. Okay. Got it. So it wants, okay. Okay. You're going to make me do this the hard way. Show diagnostic tool. Bring that out first of all. Nope. Come back. Let's see. I'd like to see the setup here. So nice that you have that, but I would like to see the actual memory. Why are you making this hard for me today? Managed memory. Remember when WPF was GUI for PowerShell scripts when formed so many years? Felt sort of modern. Yeah, and the nice part is like it's still not dead. And I think part of that is potentially a bit of condemnation on Microsoft for not producing something to replace it that people have wanted to jump to. Snapshot debugger. I want to load this thing up. I don't want to launch. I want to load. Please don't make me go to the WinDebug approach. I mean, we can, but I don't really want to. I don't really want to. I just want to look at the memory profile and see it, and I don't understand why you're making this difficult for me. Okay. This folder here. I want to do this. Thank you very much. Very happy that you've done this for me. I think we're going to launch. Okay. So this is nice that we've gotten to here, but what I would like to see, okay, is I want to look at the memory heap to see where it's all being allocated, and you are making this difficult to see. That is not helpful, Microsoft. Not helpful. Please tell me you didn't just hide it at the bottom of a big list. Okay, well that makes me feel mildly better. But this doesn't no, this doesn't tell me anything. I want to see where the memory has gone. It's not useful. That is not useful. Okay. Input processor. Heck, why? Okay. I'm gonna ask the Googles. Um, see here. Symbol location, set symbol paths. Yeah, that's what I want. But I want to, once I get it open, with or without heaps. Yep. Open the dump. Yep. Useful debugging features. Oh, well, I mean, we can go get that. Like using the discharge to shoot a mosquito. Yeah, kind of like that. Yes. Um, okay, so if that's what you're looking for, so we can just go get those because I'm going to assume that this was just downloaded from the release. So we can just go get those and then run with the same one. All right, so we can pull that down. Come on. Any day now, Defender. Any day now. Yep, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Okay, so let me extract. Doo-doo. Okay, so there's that. There's that. We want the net 8 version. Great. Okay, set symbol paths. We are going to browse. Oh dear heavens, you're gonna make this ugly for me. Okay, one moment, please, while I contemplate life and what the heck this thing is doing. Okay, so the net 8 one, great. Oh, this is cache symbols in this directory. No, not what we want. Cancel. Back out. There we go. Because we want to do new location. And I want to grab this location. And I would like to tell it to use this location. Pretty please. Yeah. So debug mixed. Oh, it's already being debugged. So let's try again. Let's see. Win32 UPDB, I don't care. The answer to that is always 42. Good copy backend. Treat Defender and Visual Studio as if they're human. Yes. I do the same thing to Copilot, and I will openly mock it every time it makes a mistake. Okay, so I'm here. This is not giving me... Okay. This is not giving me what I want to look at. Okay, fine. I give up. Give up. Come here. Come here, you obnoxious. Open dump file. Yep. We're gonna just... open. And this will probably take it a moment while it figures out everything. Okay. See, now we're talking. Now we are talking. Now the problem is I have to remember what the heck I'm doing here. Because at the end of the day, what I want to see is the managed heaps to know what is actually going on. So we'll go here. A session on WinDebug would also be welcome. I don't disagree. I might not be the best one to give it though, because I am very much in the learning stage. But hang on, let me look. I once requested resources on it, and I was given like a thread of pure gold. Hang on one second. Looking. I have a thread that I was given that... Yes, this here. So I posted a thing out on the app formerly known as Twitter a while back, asking for feedback, and the replies on this are just pure gold, absolute gold. So specifically, several of the ones in here that are referenced, the videos on .NET OS are amazing. Like there is just a wealth of great information inside of here. So yeah, so but I think those will probably do it much better than the my muddling through it, because I'm going to end up losing some of it. Because this is where I'm going to end up starting to fumble a little bit on where I am looking. Okay, so a breakpoint has been reached. Okay. Oh, this is an exception analysis. What I am looking for is when